All right. Welcome to the Iconic Life podcast, where we gather around the virtual tables for real, soulful conversations about what it means to live a life of calling, of wealth, of joy, and purpose. I'm your host, Hannah Elsey. I'm the founder of the Next Era Wealth Community, the creator of the Iconicity movement. I call myself a transformation midwife, an overflow activator, and a movement builder of a community of visionary women and men who are choosing to lead and live lives they are wildly in love with. Here we don't do just surface level chatter. We go deep. We talk about truth and the kind of stories that remind us that we are limitless when we are walking in our divine purpose and identity. When I say living iconically, here's what I mean by that. It's remembering who you were created to be and choosing to live from that place fully and unapologetically. It's saying yes to your divine calling, even when it's messy, stretchy, chaotic, and building wealth, legacy, and joy from a place of overflow and abundance. It's leading movements, raising families, and co creating a life that feels like art with our Creator. Because living iconically means you aren't chasing a dream, you are the dream. And today we get to dive into that with my guest. Welcome, Steph. I'm so happy to have you on today.
Thank you so much. That was such a beautiful intro and it gave me chills and I was about to
Oh,
cry at some point and I was like, this feels so aligned. Thank you.
beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love when it resonates because it's such my passion, right? So I'm so happy that you're here. Now, Steph, do you go by Steph or Stefania? Am I
You
saying
can call me Steph. My full name is Stefania, but
it's so
call me
beautiful? I
Steph.
love it. So fancy.
Grazie.
All right, my dear. Well, I am so happy that you decided to come on and join us for a chat today. We met, we were just mentioning it's been almost a year since we actually met in person. We were in Cozumel, right?
Cousin. Yes.
Cozumel in February of last year. And I don't know, there's something about like, I just kind of clicked when I met with you and it just kind of, it was like, oh, I resonated just kind of meeting you. And that was kind of fun. We had some really great conversations and I got to hear some of the things that you were doing and then just kind of watching you online throughout the year and lots of beautiful big things have been happening in your life and the work that you were doing. So here, like mentioned earlier, I'm not very formal. I don't have like a formal intro for you. What I'd like to do right now is give you the mic and I want you to kind of introduce yourself to the audience, to the community. Just tell us who you are, where you're at in the world, and what you're up to.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Stefania. I live in Canada, Montreal to be more precise. I just moved actually a little, I would say it's about 30 minutes from Montreal. Um, And I am a dietitian, a registered dietitian. I had such a long path with my career, but I launched my private practice a year ago. I mainly work with women to empower them and help them build stronger relationships with their bodies, or healthier relationships with their bodies and with food, healing from eating disorders or disordered eating,
Wow.
coming back to the basics and coming back to listening to, yeah, their bodies and tuning in instead of tuning outwards. Because, yeah, this is a whole other subject, but the it I feel um pulled now towards more of women health, and then the I also launched a group coaching
Okay.
last April, and then I'm doing wellness events. So this is like new for me. I'm exploring more of what I can do as an entrepreneur and
Hmm.
putting more of my soul into my project. So yeah,
Got it.
I feel though that I'm in a transition page.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't know uh, where all of this will go, but as
Hmm.
you mentioned in your intro, feeling aligned, feeling connected 100% with your purpose and with your values and
Yeah.
being the dream, that's like 100% what I'm striving for in 2026. So
I
thank
love
you.
it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I love it. Oh, exciting. Yeah, being in the pivot, right? I think it's interesting. I feel like that's kind of a bit of a common thread that I've been hearing as I've been talking with various people, different, like men and women, actually. It feels like, and even myself, I feel like there's a bit of like a, like something new is being birthed, right? Like there's something coming that's, and I think a lot of it is some of that collective, just the energy of coming into the new year, right? Like you're finishing out 2025 and coming into 2026. And for those of us who are kind of introspective and like, what does it mean? And what are we looking for? And, like the words for the year and things like that, I think that tends to elicit those emotions and feelings. But then also, as an entrepreneur, there's so many times we can pivot and do new things and try, new avenues of, like you even mentioned, like you're trying different avenues of different things. And it's exciting and it's also
Mhm.
stretchy, right?
Definitely.
But it's
Definitely.
but it's good, right? And like I yeah, like I did mention in, the intro there, like, walking in our divine purpose and our calling and the iconic life, this podcast is titled The Iconic Life, right? And as I often say, like, your iconic life is very different from my iconic life, right? But it is the one that we each are called to, and so if walking fully in that, and it's one of the things that I just so enjoy about being, having this platform and having so many people from a wide variety of works, walks, and backgrounds who are sharing their iconic lives because I think there's so many people, out there who are, going to be potentially listening to this and different things, and each one is called to something different, right? So I
Mhm.
love having this like vast array of different experiences so that people can like, oh, if they don't resonate with one, they can resonate with another who like, oh yeah, I understand that. Or I can kind of like, you know, get on board behind what they're going through or what they've experienced, right?
Mhm.
So I always like to kind of start off with, like I want you to kind of take us to a moment when you realized that you were maybe not just going to live on autopilot, but you were going to choose a different path, right? Not just the regular, like, oh, go to school, get my job and work for 40 years and then retire, right? Choosing the entrepreneurial pathway, that's a different pathway generally than most people do, right? So
Mhm.
take us to the moment where you decided that you were going to step into your iconic life, that pathway, that journey, and choose yourself, choose your calling, your alignment. What was going on in your life at that time? And like what shifted inside of you that made you say, okay, I'm going to choose a different way for my life?
Wow. This moment popped up. Uh, it was a period of time where it was a big transition, a big life transition. I would say it was the 3.5 years ago. I was in a long-term relationship with someone for almost 7 years.
Okay.
Um, Built a life, built a vision, but I didn't feel aligned. I didn't feel like
Mm,
that was my person. It
mm.
was more like a roommate. We got along. It was respectful,
It
but
was
it was just
good.
not, yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't, I didn't picture my future anymore with that person. And that moment that I decided to choose myself and leave, which was so
Yeah.
difficult. But I'm the type of person that I'll hesitate for a moment. And once I've made the decision, there's no way going back.
Yeah.
And what was keeping me going was a lot of visualization of me discovering me even more, out of who I was with that person. It was just like
Mm.
me diving into what I enjoy, who I am, um,
What your
living
calling was.
more
Yeah.
experiences that were aligned with me and that maybe
Interesting.
felt more shut down or that I had to be a certain way. Anyways, I'm not blaming
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
It's all myself to blame, right? Um, so yeah, so that was a big shift. We had a home, we sold the house, we had a dog, had to share the dog for a bit, but then I left him the dog, which was tough. Friendships, um,
Yeah. The
for
splitting of ways, the splitting of paths, right? What you had.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
but that's when it all started. That's when I dove deep into understanding me, and of course, I did therapy and I did so many other things, but then shortly after, I attracted my current partner, which will be my husband in 2 days, by the way.
2 days. Oh, stuff. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Congratulations. Oh my
Thank
goodness.
you.
How
Yeah, I forgot
exciting.
to mention that in my intro, but
Small
yes,
things. Oh my gosh.
yes. So now, like,
Yay.
exactly, living in this relationship where I'm so aligned and fulfilled and like in love, true
Yeah.
love, it's different and it's easy to
Mm.
build
Mhm.
together the life that we envision. And he
Wow.
is actually he has a huge role to play in me starting out as an entrepreneur because he is as well.
Okay.
And yeah, it all started from that one decision of choosing myself and then
Mm.
attracting better and trusting life too, which isn't always, which wasn't always easy for me.
Ah,
There's a lot of
yeah.
resistance.
So true. And okay, so that actually kind of segues into something I was about to ask you. Because obviously we know that making the decision, I think, is actually that's one of my favorite words, like the decision. Like when you decide, all other possibilities collapse and you have that one, right? Because it is a true decision, right? It is a moment in time where everything else is stripped away. All the other possibilities are gone and you've chosen, like you said, there's no turning back, right? Like you've chosen this pathway until you go on it. And that's so powerful, right? Like the power to choose, to decide and make a yeah, like I say, co-create the life of our dreams. Like that is so powerful. However, we know that even when we decide that and we go on that we start that road, down that journey, it's not always a smooth pathway, right? There can be challenges, there can be obstacles along the way that test us, test your resolve, and like, did you really mean that? So maybe kind of think back to some of these things for you, over these last, what, you said 3.5 years. How did you decide to move through those challenges, those obstacles, instead of letting them define you? And maybe what are some of the strengths that you have earned or lessons that you have learned from going through those challenging seasons?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good question. I had a lot of challenges. I would say the main one was actually pretty recent. I had experienced a small burnout, I would
Mhm.
say. And yes, you're choosing. I chose. So before that, I chose freedom. I chose, exploring different projects, taking on many projects, doing multiple things, and then it was just too much doing, not enough being.
Mm,
And I would say for me, coming back to spending time alone, that's what I need. I need to disconnect to reconnect. Like I need time to breathe, to recenter, and to actually feel out
mm,
what's aligned, what's working, what's not working. And also time, yeah, it's reprioritizing myself.
mhm.
I don't even
I
know if
think
that
that's supposed to
answers the
be.
question.
No, it kind of does. Yeah. Learning I guess I want to say like the importance of, like you said, choosing yourself, but like giving yourself that space to recharge, right? Yeah, that's a good one. Um, and it's interesting because not every person needs that, right? But I think it's so wise that you know that about yourself and like are self-aware in that, right? Because not everybody understands that and they will go and burn themselves out, right?
Hmm.
And or there's also just a choosing to be like self-sacrificial to the point of toxicity almost. But for those of us who are not trying to do that, like if you're not even aware, like, hey, I actually need to pull back here a little bit. I need to be able to make space to hear what am I supposed to be doing here, as opposed to just like going. And I think I don't know if this was in line with you becoming an entrepreneur, but if you're an entrepreneur, you got to be a hard worker. You got to be dedicated. You've got to be a self-starter, motivate, this whole thing. And so I think some of us can get caught up in that a little bit, right? Because it's like, well, we have to go because we are the CEO, the CFO, the OBM. We're all the hats, right? And we are the vision holder and all the pieces that we have to manage and go. And it's oftentimes, hopefully, it is a passion of yours as well, right? So it's not just like, oh, it's a business. It's also like something I
Your
like.
life.
Yeah, exactly. So it matters and it feels, and so you wanna, like, pour everything into it. And yet, I always say this and I teach this to a lot of women, like, we have to fill from a full cup. We cannot pour from empty. Like, you have to take time to refill, to recharge, to pour from overflow. That's a beautiful word that I love, right? Creating that overflow in our lives, making sure that we are resourced, that we are supported, and that applies in so many ways, right? I talk about building wealth or creating wealth, and it's not just WEALTH, wealth, like finances. It's also like this holistic approach to wealth, right? That includes our,
Nervous
what
system.
our health, like physical health, our nervous system, our emotional health, our spiritual health, our relationship, well, like all of this wealth in all these different aspects. Because if you have all the money that you wanted, but your relationships are broken or you have your health is gone, none of that matters, right? So
Mhm.
it's definitely about like kind of that holistic creating that overflow and abundance. And I think it's so important that we learn it. And I think women in general have to figure that out and like make it a priority. And then entrepreneurs also in general. So you put a woman and an entrepreneur together, that's a bit of a challenge sometimes, right?
Yes. Yes, for
Yeah,
sure. For sure. So yes, it is a lot. It does become your life. It becomes like when your business, there's no separation. Everything is
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
And that's a good thing, but in a way, like reprioritize your time and your energy so that you do fill up your cup
exactly.
and yeah, and do things that you enjoy and take the time to just sometimes even do nothing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. The
it's
power of
it also
stillness. Yeah.
breathing. A lot of
Mhm.
breath
Yeah,
work was done in the past year as well. Um, but it's all that coming back to yourself and um, stretching your nervous system, yes, to support to hold more because initially it
mm,
I feel like I was getting overwhelmed very fast with I would say little, okay? So a smaller to do
right.
list or lesser tasks and now
Mhm.
it did stretch my capacity to hold a lot more responsibility than I did before. Um but it's learning to, not going into extremes where, I'm
Yeah,
doing it all and holding it all and
right.
because then if I don't feel good or I collapse, everything else collapses
It
because
all is
everything's
gone. Yeah, gotta
resting
make sure
on.
that resourced and supported. That is my like, I'm such a proponent of that. Um, like I said, in all the areas of life. Yeah, no, this is true. Okay,
Yeah.
so take us into a little bit of that, like on your day-to-day stuff. Like, what is kind of that iconic life, and sometimes it's choosing, like, rituals that you do or choices or value or boundaries, values, right, you create for yourself. But in your day-to-day kind of things, not just the big moments, but also, like, the everyday, what are things that you, keep in place in your life that kind of keep you anchored in that and kind of keep you in that focus?
Yes. Um, I love that because I'm learning. I'm still in the learning phase and I did a lot of testing this year, but what's
Yes.
working for me is condensing my schedule for my client calls. So I used to
Mm,
be doing client calls 5 days a week. Now I do three. And, I have blocks where I have also creative time, time to rest. And it just works for me. It works better for my other projects as well.
beautiful.
Um, I do slow mornings. I do not see my clients before 9:30, 10 in the morning. So I will wake up, take it easy, um, have a matcha latte, take some time outside. I would bring my dog to where I was living. I would bring my dog to the dog park in the morning. So spend some time outdoors. And then as of 10, get onto my computer and
Calls.
my tasks, my calls or whatever I need to get done. Um, I do block time for my lunch. So this is my nutritionist talking
Uh-huh, yeah.
within me. Yeah, so lunchtime, not skipping lunch. I would push my lunch to later in the day and then, I'd be so tired. I just grab
Mm,
anything because I wouldn't have the energy or I'd be starving.
right.
Prepare something too that would take too much time. So now I block time for my lunch, movement and movement daily, even if it's just like stretching. Um, but I am trying to figure out my new workout regimen here because I was going to a gym before. Now I just moved a month ago, so this is
Oh,
what
that's
I
right. That's
briefly
right, you did
told
say
you.
you just moved.
Yeah, so when you move, everything shifts, right?
It
Everything is new.
does. Yeah.
Uh,
You gotta set that
you
new community, right? It's all the small things
yeah.
you don't even consider that are but, like, your routines, all like, where you all those things, yeah, you have it takes time. It takes time to set that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but so far so good. Like I'm really enjoying it. And here we're outside of the city, and it's, speaking of nervous system, it's so calming and soothing. Like
Mm,
at night you don't hear anything.
beautiful.
Um, we have a lot of trees around us, so even walks, you just feel like you're far away from
Yeah.
the city and the noise and the stress. So that's
It,
lovely.
that's
Um, yeah, and I do go to bed early. What helps me sleep better is definitely either journaling or reading before bed.
mhm, mhm.
And my screen, I turn on the red screen.
Yeah,
As
okay.
of like when the sun goes down, I put my screen red, so less blue light. 'Cause I do check my
Mhm.
phone, not gonna lie. Um, yeah, and then so my sleep is so important for me. I love to sleep, and I can sleep like 10 hours every night. So I don't know if that's healthy.
Oh, I haven't
Between
heard
seven
that
and
that's a bad
nine.
thing. I was like, "That's okay."
Between 7 and 9 is the norm, but
Yeah.
I'll do 10. I'll do 10 gladly. Yeah.
If that's what your body's asking for, I don't think it's a bad thing, right? Mm, that's
Yeah.
just my thought on that. Okay, so that's beautiful. I love that.
Also, my pets, time with my pets, they're like my
Oh.
therapy. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
to just hang around with them, cuddle, and like I think it brings me back to the present moment.
Mhm,
And then we can go into deeper like practices where, I love meditation, and it's an activity that I kind of do on and off.
mhm.
I'll be doing it for 4 months, and then I'll stop for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kinda the same. Like, I definitely because I know the power of it, and it's beautiful, and, like, I'll kinda go in and out of, like, doing it, yeah, for a chunk of time and a little break and then chunk of time, yeah. But it is
And
definitely a
water.
beautiful thing. Ah,
Water, 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 water. Oh my goodness. Like it has such an important role on our energy, and we don't even
mhm.
realize it. So yeah, staying well
That's
hydrated.
that is so interesting because it's becoming kind of a topic of a thing that I've been kind of looking into lately is water and like, each cell of our body, right? Like, if it's not hydrated, right, it's like, it's working at a diminished capacity. It's like, "Oh my goodness," we stop to think about that. You're like, "Shoot, I need to be better about that."
Yeah.
And I think for me too, it's also like, what type of water are you putting in there, right? Is it, living water? Is it, like, healthy water? All these things, which I know
Yes.
we could go on and on and on about. But yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, totally. Okay, I love any other practices or anything that we missed?
Uh, Quality time with, I mean, again, it's a daily thing. Like I do spend quality time with my soon to be husband.
Husband?
Yeah, that for me is important. It helps me to stay
Mhm.
grounded and just calms
Yeah,
me, even if, we're just like chilling
yeah,
on the couch.
yeah.
Um,
And it's important, right? I mean, our relationship that is like, we have to put time into it. Just because you guys have loved each other and decided you're gonna get married, you still have to build into it every day, right? Like, it's a relationship that takes tending. So, yeah, I think that's so important that you're doing that. And being intentional about doing that, I think, is another part of it too, right? Because life can get busy, and you mentioned he's an entrepreneur as well, right? So,
yes.
we can understand, right, all the things that kind of wanna start creeping in. So, yeah, no, I love that you're being intentional about that. Okay. So, tell us a little bit about, like, you mentioned some of the things, like you're pivoting a bit or maybe switching into something different as well. So, as you're choosing, to lead your and create a life that you are wildly in love with, your own iconic life, right? So, living and leading in a different way than the normal. What are some of the things that you were most proud of creating? Tell us a little bit about your work and like what do you see if you can share as your like how is your calling or your work evolving in this next season or what do you know already, I guess.
Well, already, I went from working for 4 years doing only one-on-one consultations and a little bit of here and there, like workshops in
Hmm.
different environments, like in schools or corporate. But now I'm doing more of that. So more corporate talks, more like workshops and presentations where I go in and I go there in person,
Okay.
and I we discuss a subject, and it's just, I don't know, there's something with like the group energy that I really
Mm,
appreciate. So I'm
yeah.
doing more of that. And I obviously create. whatever the content I'm presenting, I'm creating that. And it's just like, I feel like I'm impacting at a larger scale than one on one. Obviously,
Yeah.
we're not going into depth. It's very different. And I love to go into depth in one on ones. And I think that that's really life changing for someone. Um,
Yeah.
but I really enjoy that. And the event scene. So the event that I created in July, last July, was yoga, a body image um, workshop, and also a sensory tasting.
Ooh.
I have the words in French because I normally
Yeah.
I work in I'm bilingual, but
And
obviously,
French
uh,
is your stronger. Yeah. Like I know it's like your Instagram is in French and things like that. So yeah.
yeah. But see, I'm thinking I used to have it in English, then I switched to French, and now I'm like thinking of doing more bilingual
Mm-hmm.
content. So yeah, so the event was obviously mainly, for women, and so many brands collaborated with us, and it was so nice because we received so many gifts, and the women came out of there, and all the feedback I got was so nice because it was a moment for us to really connect, yes, with each other, but also connect with ourselves. And
Mm-hmm.
it was just like a pause, like you said, like just taking the time away from it was like a mini retreat. It was a half a day, and uh, I found that so nice and so fulfilling for myself as well to
Mm-hmm.
host that. And so I do want to do more of that,
Yeah.
definitely. Um, and then there are, I mean, this is very early stage, but there are certain things with my professional order that I cannot do. Um, I'm limited, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it kind of clashes a little bit with my values because I am someone who values freedom of speech as well,
Yes.
values, visibility, especially like when you do have a voice, why can't you share it, or make it
Yeah.
um, so it's a little conflicting. It has been conflicting within the past months, and I don't know how it will
Mm-hmm.
evolve. I do have a sense of the direction it's going, but I don't want to say too much because I'm still part of this part of this order, which has brought a lot and for me in the past years, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Allows me to do what I do for sure. So
Mm-hmm.
if everything transforms and I'm not part of it anymore, I cannot be a registered dietitian. I would not be able to call myself a nutritionist, right? I'd be some health coach that,
You had to
would
change the name. Yeah. I hear
would
you.
change quite a bit. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'm starting to reflect on and seeing where I can what direction I can take.
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm also in medicine, right? So I think we chatted a little bit about that actually when we met last year, because it is,
Mm-hmm.
and I've chosen not to use my medical profession as part of my coaching thing because it was restrictive. Anyway, so yeah, interesting. But it's so interesting because I definitely had a whole nother wider swath of stuff that I was doing. So I'm curious, yeah, as you're growing and expanding into new things and shifting potentially into, newer ways. And like we spoke about like wealth building and things like that. And I always like to ask my guests, like, what does that look like for you? Or what does wealth, I guess, mean like for you in your business and your dreams for your family and your future? Um, I mentioned my kind of consideration around wealth and what that truly means and what does that look like for you? Have you given any thoughts about that, like what you're trying to create in your business and things like that?
These are good questions, and I can I should reflect deeper within that scope. Um, well, has for a while resonated with freedom.
Mm,
You can choose this
yeah. Freedom to
because
choose. Yeah.
you have the wealth, you have the whatever, the time, the capacity, the finances to
Mhm.
choose this and choosing what you really want.
Right. Right.
Um, so it does come back to choosing the life I want when wealth is just going to allow me to live the life I want fully. Um, So it is, we said overflow, abundance, feeling abundant as a person.
Mhm.
So I was for a while in the scarcity mentality. Still transitioning. It's not easy. It's
Yeah.
it's a lot of, you're exploring trauma and stuff that, from your upbringing.
Right,
Um,
yeah, family of origin, things like that. No, I understand that. And like you mentioned earlier, it's not there's no blame at all, right? It's just like this is the journey that we've all been on and like what they knew and what we knew, like, right? And we pass things on. And I've had to
mhm,
unlearn a lot of things, right? Around wealth, around abundance, all of these things, right? But I think the beautiful thing is that we get to choose to unlearn and to learn different ways, right? I think
yes.
that's the exciting part for me is that we aren't stuck in this thing, right? Becoming aware of it is like, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, now I get to choose. I get to decide which way do I want to go with it," right? And that's,
Hmm.
like I said, that's like the most powerful thing is the fact that we get to decide and co-create from there. I love it.
Hmm. Yes.
Okay.
So that's yeah, that's
Mhm.
the wealth part. It's coming. It's definitely
Mhm.
coming. But
Yeah.
I want to mention that we so my fiance and I we have the wealth, um so we value wealth, and we have that common vision.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
for our marriage, we decided to host our dream wedding, which is by the beach in Mexico.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that's why we're like all year we've been planning this day that's coming soon. Um, so it's not in 2 days. In 2 days we'll be married here legally in Canada, but then we'll be in February we're getting married in Mexico.
Oh,
So
lovely.
yeah, so it's again a lot of visualization. And for me, yeah, I just feel I'm thinking about that day and I feel wealthy. I just feel
Mm.
like
Yes.
on the top of the world, right? I'm
Yeah.
excited.
I'm
And I
excited for
feel like
you.
it sets the tone. I feel it's gonna set the tone for the rest of the year. Like I'm gonna be
Mm.
on in that energy. So
Yeah.
that's just yeah, that's how I feel.
I love it. I love it, Steph. I'm excited for you. Like, that's so fabulous. Okay, so do you have any before we get to this next question, do you have any, like, because this podcast should come out in, like, about a week or so. So do you have any, like, current, like, programs that you're running or things you're inviting people into that or how they can find you online, these kind of things, so that we can kind of, if you have anything that you're promoting currently?
Well, I do promote my one-on-one, so I do one-on-one support. Definitely, I said in French, but also in English. You can book a discovery call with me. It's 15
Okay.
minutes where we kind of discuss how I can support you and what your needs are, and I'll explain a bit how we work. So that's what I do. I do one-on-ones. It's obviously the first session is an assessment, and then we have follow-ups for various times depending on um,
What the needs
yeah
are.
what the needs are. So yeah, so one-on-ones, that's where I support you into a healthier relationship with food and your body, to connect with
Beautiful.
your hunger and fullness signals, connect, ease your digestion, make sure you're eating enough and you're supporting your body enough with
Mm,
proper nutrition, enough energy. Yeah, and it's always personalized, so it's not a one size fits all. I don't give you like a meal plan. We build a plan together, and there's a lot of
beautiful.
recommendations that are simple, and nothing is yeah, nothing is I would say nothing is complicated, and nothing everything is um personalizable. So
Personalized.
yeah,
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 that's awesome. Okay.
that.
Okay,
On
so
Instagram. Find me on
oh, yeah.
Instagram.
Oh, yeah, on Instagram, right. I think it's Steph is it Vitale, Health, I
Yeah,
think? What did
Steph
I yeah,
Vitale Nutrition. Yes.
nutrition, okay. Yeah, so I can find you. And is Instagram the best place to find you?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
I think
easier.
you have a
Or my
link tree on there
website,
too, right? Yeah. Okay,
Linktree.
cool. So, yeah, so find her, guys. Alright, so as we're kinda starting to wrap up a little bit, what is for someone who's listening today and they're hearing you share your story and they're feeling that talking like, "Yeah, I know what that's like to be in that place of just like, I can't see my future. in this space anymore. And that tug that they need to step into something different to get, they need to be in alignment, but they haven't yet taken that step. They haven't yet made the decision. Really, that's the honest truth, right? But they haven't yet made that decision to step into their iconic life. What is one truth that you would want them to hold on to today, or like one small brave step that you would challenge them lovingly to take?
So something I often say is there are never any steps back, only steps forward. So if you think that you're doing a step and that you may be taking the wrong step or a step back, you're still going forward, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I always come back to that. Like worst case scenario, you'll go back to that same square, but you'll still be somewhere else.
Yeah.
But you're advancing, right? So one thing leads to another, and this is something I should take advice from, but nothing can be figured out right away. I think it's with action that, you know, clarity comes with action.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Thinking
Y-
about, a small action you can do, even if it's
Big
like journaling
things.
or calling someone or researching. Yeah, slowly but surely. That's
Taking
another one
one
of my
small
quotes.
action. Yeah, no, slowly but I love that though. And that's so true. It's, that's the, what is that? The compounding effect, the, slight edge. We've all these different, like there's books and things out there galore about all of this, right? But you're right. Because even like you said, even if you take a step and then you step back to the same square, you're no longer the same person that you were when you were just standing in that step, in that square, because you took a step, right? So your perspective shifted. And even if you are in this square, your perspective has shifted and you're no longer that same person who you were. So it's
Yeah.
different now, right?
Yeah.
And I love that because it's the power of, it's not, you're not stuck, right? You can make small, small things that will have massive effects, right? It's that little bit of course correction, course correction, course correction, but don't, yeah, I don't know. There's power in the small parts. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wonderful.
So beautiful.
This is motivating me. Like I'm thinking this and I'm like, yes, that's true. That yes.
I love it. I love it. Yay, good things. I love it too. Like these conversations are such a joy to me to have with, like I said, so many different people. And I feel like I'm like motivated and inspired with every person I talk to because it's like, oh yeah, like it's the truths of life that we know and yet we have to be reminded of consistently, right? Yeah. And it encouraged me to
Mhm.
just like keep on going, keep on going. Okay. All right. All right. So I love it. So in closing, I've got a few small questions that I like to also ask all my guests. And they're just like fun ones. Okay. So favorite drink or food, either now, right now, that's your favorite, or all time favorites.
Wow. Favorite drink? Um, Aperol spritz. If I would say
Oh,
alcohol, Aperol
oh yeah,
spritz.
any.
But
Okay.
again, I have phases where I don't drink alcohol and then I start drinking
Yeah.
again.
No, I hear
Um,
you. I'm same.
or a virgin mojito. I don't
Oh,
know
the
why.
mint and the lime. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
it's so
love that.
refreshing.
It's a good at the
Yes,
beach on vacation. Like, yeah.
yes. And then food, I love everything. I don't know. I can't choose one. But I
Good
love
food, right?
chocolatine. So like
Mm.
a chocolate croissant.
Oh gosh.
That's
Yes.
my favorite.
And I love how
Yeah,
you say it, that beautiful accents. So I love it. Yeah, that's the way to say it. I love that too. Delicious. Oh, yum.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. All right. Favorite or bucket list if your dream vacation spot.
Oh wow.
And this would be hard for me to answer. I'm going to be very honest because I have lots of places I have been that I really loved and lots of places that I want to go. So I don't have just one. So you can just pick one that you like too. That's
I'll say
challenging.
Egypt. I'll say Egypt.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But now I have
Mm,
another one. So I really, for a long time, I've been wanting to go on a safari.
okay.
Probably, yeah,
Yeah.
Tanzania or anywhere
Yeah.
that there's a
Okay. My
presence.
son went
Yeah.
on one a couple years ago. I was just saw like a video, like a reel about, but it was someone on a safari and they were like, in the truck or whatever driving along. And, they were videoing. like a chase of like it was a lion chasing something, right? I was like, okay, so the point of the video was the chase of the animal, the lion chasing. But I was like, you're in like a little Jeep that's open, by the way, and it's like 20 feet away from you. What if you decide to come get the easier meat? I don't know.
I know. I know, it's part of the thrill. I think it's part
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
thrill. Yeah,
I
I
agree.
would be scared, but I just find it so
But you would do it.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Yeah, it is it's
That's my
fascinating.
number 1. That's my
Okay.
number 1.
I
Yeah,
love it.
before Egypt. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, post out your pictures. I'll like them online.
I shall, yes.
Okay. What final question. Uh a book that you're reading currently or in the last, month or two that's been good, that you would recommend. Or even a
So late.
podcast.
Okay, podcast, I always love Jay Shetty.
Oh, okay. You know that I
It's
know Jay Shetty, but I have not listened to his podcast. I've seen like reels of it online, but I'll have to check out his podcast.
oh, it's amazing.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Um, and the book, so a book I read that I finished reading, actually, I did finish it a couple months ago, maybe 2 months ago. Um, it was Conversations with God. There are three
Oh,
of
yeah.
them. So I finished reading the third book, and it's just so like, yeah, it's very deep. It brings new perspectives, and
Mm,
it just like, oh, and yes, this makes sense, and it gives you hope. It gives you I don't know. It's a very philosophical, but also you have an insight of what's the bigger
mm,
meaning and the purpose of this. What are we doing here on Earth? And
mhm, mhm.
yeah, the bigger, deeper questions.
Yeah,
It's really nice.
the
So you know
questions
it?
that matter. I've heard of it. I have not read it, but yeah, the questions that matter. No,
Yeah,
I understand that, right? Yeah, I definitely that is my realm. Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
yeah.
So yeah, good stuff. Thank
Yeah,
you.
the story, I wanted to just mention the story is actually a man who went into a deep depression, and he started writing on a blank piece of paper, like, what is life?
Mm,
And then the pen started writing automatically, and it was God, source, answering
back.
through him. And it was a full conversation. Yeah. And this
Hmm.
lasted, like, I think over 5 years. Uh, yeah, and the first book came out like in 1992.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
yeah,
It's been around.
it's awesome.
Interesting.
I do
I'll just check
recommend.
it out. Okay. Well, thank you for those recommendations, and thank
Oh,
you for this conversation. It's been really good. I've enjoyed it a lot. And thank you again for coming on, taking some time 2 days before you go to get your marriage license done. Like, my gosh, you're about to become married. Ah, so exciting.
yes.
Okay. So I'm so excited for you, though, Steph, and all the things, the new, avenues of work that are coming out for you, this new year full, like the new chapter of being, married and kind of stepping into that energy and those things. Like, there's some beautiful things coming up for you. So best wishes to you, my friend. And thank you for coming today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for holding this space. It was so nice. And this was like such an aligned message. Everything you've asked, and it's me reminding me of things I needed to be reminded of.
Beautiful. I love that. I'm so glad that was for you. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, thank you again for joining us for another beautiful conversation inside the Iconic Life podcast. This space, it exists for people like you, like me, who know that there is more available and we are willing to choose it with intention. So here's what I want you to remember as you go about your day. Your life is not built in the someday out there. It is shaped by the decisions and the choices that you make right now, every day. The conversations that you lean into, the standards and the values that you hold for yourself in your life, the way you decide to live, to lead, and to love. An iconic life is not something that you're chasing. It is something that you are choosing again and again every day. And if today's conversation stirred something in you, lit something up in your heart, please share this episode with your friends. Leave us a review. That helps us a lot be able to spread the message on like all the podcast things. but help us spread this movement of women and men who are living, leading, and loving iconically. I'll see you back here next time.